Dear student, today we are going to start new chapter which is piecemeal distribution of cash. Lecture first, piecemeal distribution. In dissolution of firms, we have assumed that the realization of assets and settlement of debts and partners' accounts took place on the same day. The day the firm was dissolved, this assumption is, however, impractical of the realization in bracket sale of assets is not an easy job. It may take time, even months, to sell the assets of the firm. Thus, the realization of assets is a part by part, it is a gradual, it is a piecemeal. The creditors of the firms will not sit quiet till all the assets are realized, and they will demand their dues as and when the firm has funds. Thus, creditors are paid part by part. The distribution of available funds is gradual, it is a piecemeal. Now the question arises as to in what order the liabilities of the firm should be paid off, or in other words, how should be assets of the firm to be applied. We may draw your attention to part 1.4, third of the chapter in respect of application of assets. The liabilities, including the amount due to partners, may be classified into the following three major categories. First, external liabilities, dues to outsiders. Second, internal liabilities, partners' loans. Third, capital accounts of partners. External liabilities. External liabilities may be further be classified as preferential liabilities and other liabilities. Preferential includes due to government such as income tax, municipal taxes, etc. Dues to employee such as outstanding wages, provident fund, etc. and realization expenses. Third, realization expenses. The other liabilities may be either A. Secured liabilities or B. Unsecured liabilities. Steps. First step. First, payment of realization expenses. As a rule, realization expenses are paid first. In this case, following points should be considered. A. If the amount of realization expenses is known on my date, the amount of expenses should be deducted from the realization of assets on that date, and then the net amount should be used to pay the liabilities. B. If the actual expenses of realization are not known on the date of realization, then a provision for such expenses should be made. It means cash equal to realization expenses is set aside. The remaining cash should be used for payment of liabilities. Later on, when the actual expenses are less than the provision already made, the surplus provision should be added to cash received and total cash should be used for making payments. If the actual expenses are more than the provision already made, the deficit should be deducted from cash received and the balance only should be made available for payment. Step second. Second, payment of third party liabilities. While paying third-party liabilities, following points should be noted. A secured creditor should be paid first out of amount realized from the securities given. If the amount realized from securities is more than liabilities, the excess cash should be used for payment of unsecured creditors. If the amount of securities is less than the liabilities, the balance due is considered as unsecured creditors and paid along with other unsecured creditors. B. Preferential creditors. After payment of secured creditors, the preferential creditors like tax should be paid. C. Unsecured creditors. After payment of preferential creditors, unsecured creditors should be paid. D. Contingent liabilities. If there is any contingent liability, cash equal to liability should be set aside before making payment to other claimants. Later on, if the contingent liability does not mature, the cash set aside will be a surplus which can be used to make payment. If the contingent liability is more than the amount set aside, then the balance of that liability should be paid out the realization on that date. Step third payment, partner's loan. After payment, third party liabilities, payment should be made to partners on such account of their loans. If cash available is not sufficient, pay the partner's loan proportionately. Step 4. After payment of partner's loans, provision should be made for contingent liability. Step 5. Payment of partner's capitals. After payment of all the liabilities, partner's capital should be paid. Cash should be distributed among the partners in such a way that the balance unpaid on capital accounts would be in profit sharing ratio. Distribution of cash among the partners. As stated above, after settlement of external and internal liabilities, their cash available from realization assets should be distributed among the partners to settle their capital balance. Here again, we have to decide in what order and at what proportion payment should be made to partners on their capital accounts. Should the cash be distributed in the ratio of the capital of partners? The distribution should be made such a manner that the unpaid amount after distribution of all realization is in profit sharing ratio. The balance left unpaid in capital account is a loss on realization, and this must be in profit sharing ratio. In bracket, there may be a situation where even after settlement of capital balance, some cash is available. This is the profit on realization and the amount paid over and above the capital balances must also be in profit sharing ratio. The problem arises when the capital balances of partners are not in the ratio in which they share profit and losses. In such a case, the available cash cannot be distributed among the partners in profit sharing ratio, because if it is done so, the amount left unpaid loss will not be in profit sharing ratio. The proceeds cannot be distributed in capital ratio also, because if it is done so, then the balance left unpaid losses will also be in capital ratio, whereas it should be in profit sharing ratio. Here, short problem taken. P, Q and R sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2:1. Give the following information on dissolution of the firm: capital balances, realization of assets after payment of liabilities. PQR: P's capital 20,000, Q's capital 30,000, R's capital 50,000. Realization of assets: first realization 24,000, second realization 36,000. Show distribution of cash if first, cash is distributed in profit sharing ratio. Second, cash is distributed in capital ratio. Example taken: statement of distribution of cash. Here we have to prepare pro forma of piecemeal distribution of cash. First, if cash is distributed in profit sharing ratio, pro forma: particulars, cash available, total claim, column of partners PQR. First realization. First we have to here taken capital balances. First, total claim: in total claim, total rupees 1 lakh. P's capital 20,000, Q's capital 30,000, R's capital 50,000. First realization rupees 24,000. We have to pay the amount 24,000 in proportion of capital balance. Here we have to ascertain the ratio of these partners. Here 12,000, 8,000 and 4,000 amount is distributed in three partners as per the ratio of 3:2:1. 2 share to P, 3 shares for P, 2 shares for Q and 1 share for. Here as per the calculation, 1 share is 4,000, 1 as per ratio 4,000 rupees for R, 2 shares for Q, so 4,000 multiply 2, for Q's share is 8,000, P's share is 3, 4 multiply 3 is equal to 12,000, so here 12,000 for P, 8,000 for Q and 4,000 for R. Less amount paid to three partners as per PSR, profit sharing ratio. After the payment of realization, here balance dues is 76,000. Balance dues is 76,000. P's balance 8,000, Q's balance 22,000 and R's balance 46,000. After the third realization, and that realization is 36,000 as per problem, we have to pay 36,000 to all partners P, Q and R in profit sharing ratio. From cash available, less 36,000 and paid to all partners 36,000 in profit sharing ratio, PSR. Deduct 36,000 from total claim. After the deduction of 36,000, balance dues is 40,000. But 36,000 distribute among the partners as per ratio of PSR 3:2:1. 18,000 for P, 12,000 for Q and 6,000 for R. After the payment of realization to all partners, excess payment of P 10,000, Q balance unpaid 10,000. R's balance unpaid is 40,000. It can be clearly seen above the amount left unpaid is loss on realization of rupees 40,000 has not been shared by the three partners in the profit sharing ratio. In fact, P has been paid an excess amount of rupees 10,000 on his capital account. Example second, if cash is distributed in capital ratio. Dear student, here we are calculating distribution of cash in the ratio of capital balances. Total claim 1 lakh, P's capital 20,000, Q's capital 30,000, R's capital 50,000. First realization amount is 24,000. Deduct from 24,000 from realization and that amount distribute among the PQ. Here we have to calculate the ratio in proportion of capital balances. As per the capital balances, here PSR is 2 as 3, 3 as 5. In this ratio, 24,000 distributed among the partners. Share of all partners is P's share is 4,800, Q's share is 7,200, R's share is 12,000. Balance dues 76,000 in total claim. P's share is 15,200, Q's 22,800, R's 38,000. Second realization 36,000. Cash paid to all partners 36,000. Deduct 36,000 from 36,000. 36,000 deduct from 76,000. After deduction of 36,000 from total claim, 76,000 remaining balance or left unpaid is 40,000. 36,000 divide in the ratio of capital balances and that balance contribution or share of P's share is 7,200, Q's share is 10,800 and R's share is 18,000. After the payment of realization of cash, 8,000 balance of P, 12,000 balance of Q, 20,000 balance of R left. In the above case, the amount left unpaid, loss on realization is not in profit sharing ratio, but it is in capital ratio. Therefore, there should be some different techniques of distributing cash among partners so that the amount finally left unpaid will be in profit sharing ratio. For this purpose, two methods of distribution have been evolved, viz. Proportionate capital method and maximum loss method. These methods are discussed in the following parts, in the following paras. It should, however, be noted that if the capital balance of partners are already in profit sharing ratio, the available cash should be distributed in profit sharing ratio. Proportionate capital method, meaning this method is also known as excess capital method or highest relative capital method or quotient method. Under this method, the excess capital contribution by the partners with reference to their profit sharing ratio is determined. We have seen above the proceeds of assets realized cannot be distributed in profit sharing ratio if the capital balances are not in the profit sharing ratio. Thus, in order to bring the capitals in profit sharing ratio, the excess capital contributed by a partner over and above his proportionate capital with reference to his share of profit is paid off first. To take an example, if A and B are two partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio 3:2 and having capital of rupees 45,000 and 40,000 respectively. B's excess capital is 10,000 and this should be paid off first. Thus the available cash should be paid to B till the time his capital becomes rupees 30,000, thereby making it proportionate to his share of profit. Capital to be considered for this purpose will be after adjustment of general reserve and profit and loss account balances. Procedure. Following is the detailed procedure to determine excess capital. Steps. Details. Step first, calculate actual capital of all the partners in bracket after making adjustment for accumulated profits, reserves, losses and transfer to balances of current account. Bracket complete. Step second, divide each partner's capital by his ratio of profit, get the unit capitals or unit values and treat the smallest quotient as base capital. Third, take the smallest unit capital as the base and determine the proportionate capital by multiplying the base by individual ratio of profit. Proportionate capital is equal to base capital individual ratio of profit. Fourth, deduct the proportionate capital from the actual capital. The resultant figures will represent the excess capital in bracket or initial surplus capital. Bracket complete. Step fifth, if there is only one partner having surplus capital, make payment of such partner first. If there are two or more partners and their surplus capital are in their profit sharing ratio, distribute cash among the such partners in the ratio of their surplus capitals till such capital is paid off. If surplus capital are not in the profit sharing ratio, then go to next step. Step 6, divide the surplus capital by ratio of profit to get the revised unit values again. Step 7, take the smallest unit's value as the revised base and determine the proportionate capital. Step 8, deduct the proportionate capital from the surplus capital. The resultant figures will be ultimate excess capital in bracket or absolute surplus capital. Bracket complete. Repeat this procedure or process until the number of partners having excess capital reduces to 1. Procedure for distribution of cash. First, distribute reserve and undistributed profits, if any, among the partners in the profit sharing ratio. Step second, procedure step point second, pay for realization expenses. Third, pay off secured liabilities out of sale proceeds of securities and carry forward the unpaid balance in any as unsecured liabilities. Fourth, pay off preferential liabilities towards government dues and employee dues. Fifth, pay off unsecured liabilities in case there are two or more items of unsecured creditors distribute the available amount in proportion of their claims. 6. Pay off partner's loan in case loan is taken from two or more partners, apportion the available amount proportionately. After payment of all external and internal liabilities, arrange to pay to partners as follows. A. Pay to the partners who is having ultimate excess as it is implies relatively highest capital. B. Pay out the excess amount of other partners in their profit sharing ratio. C. After payment of excess capital, the capital of the partners will be in their profit sharing ratio. Thereafter, pay the available cash to all the partners in their profit sharing ratio. D. The balance left unpaid represent loss on realization. Payment more than the dues represent profit on realization. Thank you.